I got, like, heavy breathing from dogs and stuff in the background, and, like, because if I close the door, they will beat on the door and make more noise than they would if I just let them in.
They are like your personal shadow.
Yeah,
they follow mommy anywhere they go, anywhere you go.
Exactly. Oh my gosh, it's terrible. So anyway.
I know. Okay. All right. I was going to say Nellie's the same way. I trip over her. Sometimes I come down the steps and she's like already right there. And I'm walking. She's walking in between my legs, in front of my feet, behind me. She's like all over the damn place. Tripping to the bathroom. Yeah. Are we on now?
Yeah, we are. Hey, everybody, welcome to the Craptastic Podcast. It's been an awful long time since I've done one of these. But with me, I have the one and only Mike G. What's up, Mike G?
Hey, what's going on? How are you?
We're talking about dogs today, apparently.
yeah, we're talking about dogs. I was going to say, it's such a nice day out. It's 60 degrees out. We should be doing podcasts from outside.
Well, I kept my window open. Of course, like, every once in a while I can hear my neighbor Clark out there banging on something. I don't know what he's doing. Building something.
Yeah. Oh, I suppose that's close enough. Yeah, I'll stay. I'll throw some meat in the group a bit later on. Having a cold one.
Yep.
Well, listen, I just wanted to say, first of all, it's an absolute honor to finally be on your show. I mean, what took you so long?
Let's see. Work? Yeah. Work. And work. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I understand that. But I just want to let you know I'm a big fan, and I think you're super talented, and, rock on.
Oh, look at you, kissing up to the host to see how you are.
Hey, that's how I roll, you know? I majored in kissing ass 101.
So it's Corona in Michigan, and how have you been dealing with the quarantine?
Oh, it depends on your definition of well. I've been trying to keep myself busy. I cleaned the house, worked on the roof, almost fell through a roof. Didn't fall through a roof. I'm very happy about that, and playing with my dog a lot, going outside, taking her for walks. The other day, I was taking her for a walk, and I'm thinking about banning walks and just playing with her in the backyard, because some of these idiots have their dogs unleashed, and they're like just running around, and one of them almost attacked Nellie. Ooh. So, yeah, and I didn't have my gun with me or anything. No, I'm just kidding. But, I was kind of scared because it was a Doberman. Ooh. And it was a nice dog, but it came up kind of aggressive, and, Nellie, she loves everybody. She thinks that's, her new play toy and best friend. And, so she's one of those dogs that, just meets somebody or a dog or a person, or she loves children. And so, yeah, she just wants to play, eat, and poop. That's all she does.
Man. It's better than, I have to say, Boo Dog, she's, a proper lady, and then I've got Nala Noodle, who, like, she's just rough, tough, gets in everything, but she's still a puppy, though, she's just huge. She's like a big old moose of a puppy, though.
Right. So when they get together, they're kind of like the odd couple of dogs.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah.
Oh, that's too funny. Your other dog, what was that? Wow, I'm sorry. Nala Noodles and
Boo Dog,
yeah. I swear to God, she looks just like my dog Molly. I think I told you that several times, but it's just uncanny, the resemblance of. I'm gonna have to show you a picture of Molly one day. I mean, black and white, almost the same size, and yeah, she was a lot of fun to be around. Unfortunately, she's no longer with us, but yeah, she was with us for about 12 years, so that was good. So. Lots of good times, lots of good memories.
Yeah, I used to have a ferret. Named Gowrie, and everybody loved Gowrie so much. And he was so much fun and everything, and then they only live about 9 years.
Really?
Yeah, it's their life expectancy is so small. And it was, like, so sad. But, like, when Gowrie passed away, it affected my whole family. Like, at the time, I was living at my parents' house, and my mom loved him, my dad loved him, like, everybody just loved Gowrie.
Aww.
Yeah.
Are you one of those people that from time to time, because you seem like you might, because you're a bit eccentric, and you that used to own, like, exotic pets from time to time, or, like, have something, Because the reason why I'm asking you, my sister used to be the same way. She's owned iguanas. She's owned other little lizards. She owned a tarantula once named Herman. And one time Herman got out, and that was no fun because we didn't know what Herman was. So that was lots of laughs. You know, couldn't get comfortable and chill out and watch TV. Herman's on the loose. Where the fuck is Herman at? You know, she'll be laying out with some big tarantula. You know, so yeah, Kimberly was always a little bit different. I mean, in a cool way. I mean, she's got her own style, but and then of course there was Sandy. Sandy grew to be a 9-foot boa constrictor.
Wow.
Yeah. And it was kind of fun because when she first got Sandy, I was like, oh, let me know when it's feeding time. Because I wanted, because I was just always intrigued. I was like a big Discovery Channel fan. I wanted to see some wildlife. And I know this is going to sound bad, but I was kind of bummed out that the mice were already dead and frozen because I wanted to see like some live action, something like that. The lion and the weeds getting ready I thought I was going to see some, super duper natural type, in the nature, and they were already dead. So it was kind of boring to watch.
No, a buddy of mine, Andy, he had a tarantula. And I learned that, did you know that if they fall from like a kind of a high height, they just die?
No.
Yeah,
really?
they can't like fall. Like their bones are not, like they're not like solid bones, right? They just crumple and die if they fall from a certain height. Like they're actually like really fragile.
Yeah, I didn't know that, but I also know most tarantulas some of them might be painful than others, but most of the time it's the equivalent of like a bee sting or a hornet sting. It's not like super deadly. You see these big furry, menacing creatures that have been in movies, and some of them, and those like that film we talked about the other day with the big giant tarantula in the house, and you see these things, you have like a predetermination of how they are, and they're really not that. Some of them are cool and very docile. But, it's weird to see something like that menacing, and the little brown recluse is like 10 times more dangerous.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
One had movies with one that looked like it fought Godzilla, and the other one is like, and this thing could like do some serious damage.
Oh, yeah. I know some people that got bit by one.
Yeah.
They had to be hospitalized.
I know. I knew one person named Mark I used to work with at another company, and he was at a family picnic, and they're in the backyard, and one fell from the tree, I guess, and this one, it survived, unlike the tarantula. This one fell on his arm and bit it. And it was like no big deal. He didn't know it was a brown recluse, and it was just like it left a little mark, and it started to itch, and then over the course of time, it started eating through his skin and his tissue, and it kept getting to the point where you could see his bone. He had to be hospitalized.
Damn.
And
he let it go that far before he went to the freaking hospital?
I don't know what's wrong with the kid, but anyways, this is his story. Now, yeah, I guess. I don't know. He was procrastinating. I don't know. He thought it was no big deal. Put some ointment, put some Robitussin on it and a Band-Aid and call it a day. So anyways, he showed me a picture, and it was like, oh my God. It looked like I can't even, it looked like, someone took a big chunk of meat out of his arm, and and he was like, that little thing did that? Oh man. So he was hospitalized for a while, and then, yeah, he finally got all healed up, but yeah. So ever since then, I've been like terrified of brown recluse spiders. I mean, because I know some of them live in Michigan now, and I didn't know that until that story, and I was just like freaked out.
Yeah, we've always had them, actually. You didn't know that? Yeah.
I didn't know to the extent, because I thought most of them were like, like up in Canada or Maine or California. I didn't know that they were. I knew that there were some, but I didn't know they were so prevalent. Because ever since then, I would like Google, okay, where are the brown recluse spiders in Michigan? And be like, Tri-County area, here, and there's been attacks here. I'm like, oh shit, excuse my French, but I didn't know it was like to that extent. So every time I go into a house or to a garage, I'm like thinking about a brown recluse spider, and yeah, I'm a little paranoid. Or if I'm at my sister's house and we're having a barbecue, because she lives like in a woodsy area where they like to roam, and they're most prevalent, woods, dark places, water, and so on and so forth. She's got spiders up the wazoo every summer. They're on her screen door. And I'm like, oh my God, that's a brown recluse. I'm like, don't start, Mike. Don't start this again, please. Seriously. Every spider you don't see ain't a brown brown recluse. Yeah, but the stomach's got that violin shape marking on it, just like they said, she's gonna kind of like calm me down. Because sometimes, I don't know if you notice, but sometimes I have the tendency to overreact. Most people don't know.
I have noticed that.
Most people don't know that about me. I'm kind of like an in the closet, but anyways, yeah, so every time I see a spider, and then nothing's compared to my Aunt Sheris's house. My Aunt Sheris, my mom's sister who lives in Ashtabula, Ohio, she lives in a very woodsy area, and she's right down the block from Lake Erie. And it's like the perfect mix, the perfect storm and blend for spiders and all that. And on her back porch screen, it's huge. It looks like a spider buffet. I swear to God, there's an assortment of varieties. Like you open a box of chocolates, you never know what you're going to get. You don't know what kind of spider you're going to get at Aunt Sheris's because they're all over the place. You see big ones, small ones, hairy ones that, they have no hair on them whatsoever. And then you see, it's like, oh my God. And I'm looking, it's like, I know one of these suckers got to be poisonous. And I know one of these got to be a freaking brown recluse spider, so.
I can't tell the difference. Like, if I'm looking at a bunch of spiders on a screen or something, I would not know which one is the brown recluse. Like, I wouldn't be able to tell.
Another thing that's kind of freaks me out. All right, so there's another, like, little, not like a picnic table, a table that goes up the steps on her back porch. She's got a open back porch. And then there's, like, the kitchen area, which is enclosed. And then there's, like, another area, which is the door wall. That's bigger, that slides in and out so you can go in the house. And that's where we set up another table to play cards, or if we're barbecuing, we sit down and eat. Well, when it gets dusk, she'll turn it. You don't know the spiders are there. It's kind of dark and we're sitting there. It's like, oh, it's time to turn the light. And you turn it on and you see all these freaking spiders. And you're sitting right next to them. There's like 10,000. They're all crawling on each other. And it looks like something out of Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. They're all up, intertwined and crawling on each other. And it's like, oh my God. Some of them look like they're making out. And some of them are, look like they're battling each other. And you don't know what the hell's going on. And meanwhile, I'm trying to have a cheeseburger over here and a cold beer. And I'm looking at this. And it's like right next to me. Yeah. Some claim I screamed like a little schoolgirl at one point, but no, that's not true. They can't prove it. But anyways,
I used to be a long time ago. I used to be absolutely terrified of spiders. Like, I was that chick that was like, there was a spider in the bathroom or something. I wouldn't go in the bathroom. I'd be afraid. So like somebody would have to go in there and squish it for me and get it out of there, right?
Yeah.
Well, since I've moved to the country.
Yeah, now you got them as pets.
Yes, I get them. And they appear in the tub, and it's happened. What happened is, it happens so often now that it's like, it's just a part of life now. Like, oh, there's a spider. It doesn't affect me like it used to. Like, when I first moved here, that was a different story. Like, when I first got this house and I first moved in, and there was always one in the tub or the shower. Well, I have because I got a well water, right? And they just come right up, and they're like chilling in the tub, right? And there's like one in there like every day. And I have a jetted tub. I got, the tub with the jets, right? So I'm always afraid that one's like up in the jet, right? So like you fill your bath water, right? And you turn the jets on, and occasionally you get like a dead one. A dead one will pop out the jet and be like floating around in the water with you. And like, after that happened like a couple of times, then it's like, oh, it's just another spider. It's just another spider.
Yeah, you got immune to it.
You do, yeah. It like desensitizes you after a while. Like
it does. Yeah, I guess I haven't reached that point yet, because sometimes I'm afraid to sit my ass down on the toilet. It won't come up and bite me in the. Yeah, I'm serious.
I haven't had one in the toilet. I have not had the spider in the toilet situation, but the tub in the shower, that's like a constant. It's like all the time.
Yeah, I know. Like when I'm in the shower, it's like, I'm thinking about it, because I've had that happen to me before. Spider coming out of the faucet, or sometimes one would be on the wall, and unfortunately one didn't, land on me, or didn't, like a scene from Psycho. I've been like the chick in the shower, and the base opens the curtains, and it's like, I know, right? I better stop talking like this, because I don't want to seem like to be like I try to be a manly man when I can, at the most part, but when it comes to things like that, Yeah, not a big. But you want to know what's funny? I'm not afraid of snakes at all.
I'm not either. I wanted one when I was a kid. My mom said no.
Yeah, well, we used to have plenty of garter snakes in our backyard.
I get them guys too. They're in my yard. Yeah.
And I used to think it was the coolest thing. I used to like walk with them, not chase them, but kind of follow them around, see where they were going. And then, it's like, now you see me, now you don't. Then they disappear. And it's like, where do you go? It's like, but I always wanted one. And I asked my mother one time if I could keep, catch one. If I ever caught one, if I can keep it as a pet. And she said no. So of course, when I was a kid, she wouldn't let me have a little cute gardener snake, but she let my sister Kimberly have a 9-foot boa constrictor named Sandy. That's okay. That's all right. There's nothing wrong with that. But you can't have this gardener snake. But yeah, so but that was a little, kind of funny to me. So yeah. Unfortunately, Sandy passed away, and it was kind of sad because when they were moving out, it was during the winter, and the heat got shut off. And we weren't finished. Well, we didn't complete the entire moving process. My dad was supposed to take Sandy for my sister and bring Sandy over to her new apartment, and Sandy didn't make it. She froze to death. So
what?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. So.
Oh my!
I know.
Wait,
I kind of messed that story up. I mean, there's a lot more to it than that.
That story is like just now sinking in. I'm like, wait a minute. What? That's horrible.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she had some good times.
Oh,
she ate
that's
some
so
rats
sad.
And,
Oh, that's so sad. Oh, it's awful.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bring you down like that.
I'm like listening to this
a happy story.
I'm like listening to this tale, and then all of a sudden, and then Sandy died. I'm like, wait, what?
Well, she's up in snake heaven now. Yeah.
Oh man,
may her rest in peace. So
set me for a loop on that one. I was expecting.
My bad.
I was not expecting that ending.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that. I didn't know. Yeah. Well, it happened, but we, you live to live another day, and we moved on from that. But yeah. So, what's funny about that though? Speaking of, animals in general and how sad it is, to see them die or when they pass away, or you never want to see them get killed or God forbid get hit by a car. Because I've seen that in my time. And I'll spare you the details and stories, but it's just funny how the contrast is with humans, at least with some people like myself and probably yourself, where, if it's an animal or a pet, it's like, oh, it's so heartbreaking and heart-wrenching, and you can't. But I can watch humans get, shot up and stabbed to death all day on TV. It won't faze me much. It's like, it's like, oh, whatever. But if I see them animals, especially those commercials, and they got this,
the Sarah McLachlan music playing, music and I know.
Yeah.
I can't.
I know. Every time I see those commercials, I gotta grab my dog and start petting and kissing her, any dog I used to have. Every time those commercials come on, I'd be like, "Come here, Molly. Come here, man." Like, "Oh, come here." I start, showing them some love, and don't look at the TV. Don't look. I try to find a channel changer, turn the channel, but yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I can't. Oh, I can't handle that stuff either. I really can't. It's but it's just like you said. Yeah, I can handle like humans getting killed and stuff, but then when it's an animal, I'm like, oh no. When a long time ago, I wanted to be an animal control officer, and I thought that this was a good idea until I found out that it's mostly dealing with bugs. I didn't know that. Like, I thought that I'd be going and, like, rescuing possums out of people's garages, right? Or getting bats out of people's, like, attics and stuff. But no, it's mostly, like, the cucarachas and, like, you're basically an exterminator also. Like, to take care of, like, oh my gosh, what are the names of the bugs that get in the wood? Nature wood.
Termites?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, the termites and stuff, right? Like, I didn't know that was part of animal control. When I first was interested, my mother was trying to tell me, she was like, you can't work for that place. Because when you take the animals that the loose dogs and wild cats and stuff that you collect and you have to take them to the Humane Society, she's like, you're gonna want to adopt them all. You're gonna want to take every single one of them home with you.
Right.
And
Right.
like, and she's right, you know, she was right, but like, I couldn't do it because of the bugs. I just couldn't, you know, because you know, if you even get like one cockroach egg on you and bring it home, like you can infest your own house. Like it was not the job I envisioned.
They didn't feel that. They didn't fill you in on the job description about that part.
No.
They just kind of left you hanging, and then like, okay, and they threw you out there, and there's bugs too, and then you had to run out and chasing. Oh my God, that's crazy. It's
yeah,
like,
I really thought that, you know, as an animal control officer, you were mostly like I said, getting possums out or raccoons or, you know, in the wintertime when people chain their dog up outside in the cold and then they leave it out there and you have to go and rescue it. You know what I mean? Like, I thought that was the kind of job that it would be, but it's not. It's extermination. And I'm sure
you're going to be a superhero to pets.
Yeah.
You found out otherwise.
And it's not. It's totally not. Yeah.
No, that sucks.
Yeah.
So how long did you end up with that job until you finally said, you know, this isn't for me? I quit.
Oh no, I barely lasted any time.
I don't blame you.
People, I'll tell you this. It was maybe 3 months, but people are gross. Their houses are disgusting. Like, you would not believe how nasty. Like, you go to like out of 4 houses that you'll visit, like 2 of them are like really gross and nasty because people just don't clean. Like, it's really unbelievable. And like, you know, you hear stories about, you know, like the guys that work on phone lines and you know, go to people's homes to hook up their internet and stuff, right?
Right.
And like, sometimes they have to like say that house is unsanitary and unsafe for the worker to actually go in and hook up the internet because people are so gross.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
You know what? That's funny you should mention that because you would have no idea. Oh no, yes I do. I have trust me. I used to be a door-to-door salesman a long time ago. I used to sell Kirby vacuum cleaners.
Kirby vacuum cleaners.
Yeah, I used to go into people's houses and then I'm like, okay, here's some dirt and I'm going to pour this on your living room floor. See, I'm going to rub it in. I'm going to stomp it and start and then watch it come out. And sometimes it wouldn't always come out. And I was like, oh, I'm just, and I was like, I swear, no, in training, they never prepared me for this or what's the contingency plan here. But some of the houses, yeah. I mean, it stunk the high. I even got a better story. I used to, my cousin is a Detroit police officer, and I used to go on what they call ride-alongs. And where you can, if you were thinking about maybe getting into law enforcement, you can ride along. I lied. I didn't want to get in law enforcement. I just wanted to ride along.
You just wanted to ride along.
Cool yeah. See my cousin in action, you know, and he was an officer for a few years at that time. And so anyways, we go to this one stop. It's a domestic dispute. And my cousin and his partner gets out. And his name is Devin. He's like, Mike, you want to come out? I'm like, shouldn't I stay? And he's like, no, you can come on out. I'm like, all right. He's like, come on with us. Just stick by me and don't say anything. Don't say anything. I'm like, okay, all right. So we go inside the house. I'm standing outside. He's opening the door for me. And then like, okay, do I walk? He said, yeah, come on in. I'm like, should I be doing this? So anyways, long story short, there's a domestic dispute between these 2 older couple, and I don't know what, somebody misplaced the baked beans and or whatever, and they got upset, and someone switched somebody's coffee over from Folgers to Taster's Choice, whatever. But it was, so they had this big, all the meanwhile, I'm standing there and I'm smelling everything. I'm smelling like this odd combination, like a shake of vomit, pee, poop, and something. It's like, and like they blended it together and just started throwing it on the walls and on the floor. I mean, it was putrid. Well, I guess, being in law enforcement, being in law enforcement, now the noodle's okay over there.
Hang on. I'm having an issue. Oh, okay.
Please stand by. We appreciate your patience.
Sorry. Yeah, Clark's dogs are outside. I have to edit this part.
Okay. All right. Just the barking part, not my story.
No, not your story.
Right.
Yeah, but...
Alright, let me know when it's ready to go.
Alright, hang on. They're like barking at each other. Clark has... oh my gosh, Clark has 2 boxers. And, when they're out in the yard, Pooh Dog, like, freaks out. It's not coming to get you. Them pupperoos are not coming to get you. You're safe.
Protecting this queen.
She's more afraid of them. Like, she'll climb in my lap and, like, be like, Mommy, save me. Like, right now, she sounds really, like, mean and growly, but no, she's a baby.
Yeah. Same thing with Nellie Bell. I mean, she loves people, but she's afraid of everything. I mean, rustling in the wind, the leaves she just jumps and she does this hop like a bunny rabbit. She does this little bunny hop. It's funny as hell. I don't know where she got that from, but she did that since she was a puppy.
That's cute.
When I first let her out of the cage, when she was like 6-7 weeks old, she like did this little bunny hop towards me. She came right up to me, started licking me, and started, that was my first time I met Nellie. Oh, no.
Oh. Hello? I think I'm losing
you. Ready?
No, the phone cut out for half a second there.
Oh. Okay.
Alright, but you're back. Alright. Okay, I think it's safe. You can continue your story now.
Okay. So anyways, are we on?
Yeah.
Okay. So anyways, yeah, so I'm standing there and, my cousin is trying to take, he's trying to be professional and he's trying to take, he's writing down the comments of each individual and getting their side of the story. And I'm standing there in this putrid, absolutely horrible biles. I mean, this house smelled like, I almost rather be in hell than in that house for another minute. I mean, it was bad.
Oh, God.
So remember, I'm not supposed to say anything. Let the professional police officers conduct their work in their interview. And all of a sudden, my cousin hears,
oh!
See, I have a quick gag reflex. And I literally started vomiting in the house, and I had to run outside the door, and it was summertime, and run outside the door, and I finished my vomit outside. Meanwhile, my cousin's just standing there, like in a still, like, no, that just didn't happen, right? And then he proceeds with the interview, and as he's interviewing, he can't stop laughing. He's trying to be a professional police officer, and he's like cracking up. Now he's got the giggles. He's trying to, see with it. All right, so the perpetrator, and he starts laughing, and it's one of those things you had to be there. But and then afterwards, on the way back, he was just like laughing his ass off. He and his partner, it was just like one of those things. But I couldn't help it, I mean, if there's some bad baloney or something, I get a gag reflex. This was hell. I mean, it was, so yeah. So I know. Getting back to your original point, I do know about some households a little bit.
Oh my God! Yeah,
you'd be surprised. Man. Because I'm a little self-conscious. I mean, if there's like clothes on the floor, or I didn't do my laundry, or there's some dishes to do, and walking into some other places, and I, dun dun dun, like, oh my God, seriously. I mean, I don't know. Some of these people were like in a comatose state, or if they were, what they were doing, or if they were just, seriously procrastinating.
No, lazy. I know it's what it's.
Get that lazy? How can you stand the stench?
Dude, well, like, here's the thing, okay? And I've learned this, right? Mm-hmm. And that is, you don't smell it if you live in it, okay? Like, okay, my bestie Steve, right? Okay?
Yeah.
There's something about his nose, he can't smell cat pee. He can't smell it at all, right? So, sometimes when I would go over to his apartment, I'd have to tell him, dude, it smells like cat pee so bad in here. And he, because he doesn't know. He doesn't know unless you tell him. But he can't smell the cat pee. And, he doesn't want his apartment to smell like cat pee, right? He doesn't want, like, people coming over and being like, ew, it's gross in here. But, like, you have to tell him because he absolutely cannot smell it. It's kind of...
His nose is desensitized to it.
Probably. Yes, something like that, or... I don't know. I also know, like, these crazy cat ladies, right? And they have, like, a bunch of cats and stuff, and then their houses smell like cat pee, but they cannot smell the cat pee because they live there. It's like they become adjusted to how it smells or whatever, so. Yeah.
I know, because one of my aunts used to hoard cats and had like 90 cats living in the basement with newspaper spread out all over the floor.
That's so sad. No, you can't keep a bunch of kitties in the basement. No.
I know, but she was like, what she would do is save, like, she thought she was doing a good service because she would save stray cats from the street or had no home and would start collecting them. And the more and more time, went by, the more cats she had, stray cats, that she was trying to protect and save in her basement.
Man.
And it looked like yeah, I know. And I was younger at the time. I would go downstairs to grab something because my cousin and I, this is when we were younger, we used to play wiffle ball in the backyard during the summer. And sometimes the wiffle ball and the wiffle ball bats would be in the basement. And I'm like, oh no, not in the basement.
No.
Seriously. And he'd always make me go down there and get it. I'm like, all right, I had to go down there and I'm stepping on cats. I'm stepping on cat poop. I'm playing slip and slide and cat. I'm like trying to. It's all in my shoes, and I was like, man, wiffle ball isn't worth this. I grabbed the stuff, go back upstairs, and had to change my shoes. And
so awful. Oh, the poor babies in the basement.
Yeah, poor babies. What about me?
Man.
No, I know.
Oh,
just kidding. Yeah, but yeah.
So terrible. Oh.
Yeah. Well, she stopped doing that finally, but they started trying to give the cats away or something happened. But at one point in time, she could have been in Guinness for the amount of cats she had in her basement.
Oh no, man! I can't imagine the smell and the horror. Oh no.
So, so I do know smells. I do. Yeah, not very fun.
Gosh, I used to work at 7-Eleven, and there was this really, really nice old man that would come in about every day. And I used to know his name, but I can't remember it now. Doesn't matter. I probably don't want to put that on the internet anyway. But
right.
he was always saving animals, and always, was talking about all these animals that he had. And I, as I'm talking to him, because he'd come in every day, get his coffee,
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like listening to all the names of all the animals, and I'm getting to the point where I'm like, what's this guy got, like 20 freaking animals in his house? Like, he had like 5 names of dogs and 6 names of cats, and like there was always somebody new. And then he was talking about how he had found one and he has another one, and I'm like, got this picture in my head because he was such a nice man. He really was. He was a really sweet person. But if you put 20 animals in one house, that ain't good for the animals, it ain't good for the person, it ain't, and I kept, the more I thought about it, the more I was like, oh my gosh, maybe he's an animal hoarder. You ever seen those horror stories about animal hoarders where they're like pulling out dead bodies out of the house and stuff? And I'm like, oh no,
I know, right?
But then,
I used to watch. No, go ahead.
Well, like you think about it, I couldn't make myself report him. You know what I mean? Like, because I'd never been to the house. I don't know the conditions. I don't really know if, like, it's as bad as I thought it was. You know what I mean? So I didn't have any proof, so I never, did anything about it. But, like, in the back of my mind, it was always in there. Yeah.
You ever watch those animal rescues sometimes?
Yes.
I know it's hard to watch, but you're always most of the time in the end it's a happy story. And like a dog fell in a raging river, and then the choppers came and they had to drop down the harness and all that, and this poor dog is trying to swim upstream against the current. And you're like, oh come on, come on, Lassie, or come on, and it's just like oh man, I can't. It's hard for me to watch that. I mean, but I watch it just to see and make sure the animal is rescued.
Yeah, you want the happy ending at the end, yeah.
Because I can't like turn it off in the middle of it, and I'm like, I go to the store to get a loaf of bread. I'm like, damn, did Bruno make it? And oh man, I didn't know. It's like I gotta know. I gotta know if Daisy, didn't, it was, finally rescued out of the bear trap. It's like I can't just turn it off in mid, and then just, so I have to watch it all the way through.
Yeah. I get some of those on my YouTube recommendation. It shows you the damn thumbnail of the poor, cat or dog, and you're like, and then you end up clicking on the thing to make sure it was okay. and then they end up in your freaking recommendations, and it's like horrible. I'm like, no, I don't want these stories to appear in my freaking recommendations, so that every time I open YouTube to watch something, them things pop up. I'm like, no, I don't want to watch that.
Yeah, I hear you. You know, I had this little problem. Not to switch gears on you, but I had this little problem. Maybe it's just me. Maybe, you know, other people around my age, give or take, maybe go through the same thing. But I'm going through 80s withdrawal.
80s withdrawal?
Big time. You gotta understand something. This is like when you're a kid and you're growing up from a kid to when you're a teenager, you think life in the world is going to stay exactly the same, exactly like that. You have to understand something. You know, I came from pre-internet, pre-YouTube, pre-cell phone, and now it's a whole different world. And now you can see, you know, pretty soon they're going to have somebody that pops up, you know, right in your living room, like some sort of hologram, you know, and, you know, talk to you and all this stuff. But yeah, I just miss you know, because sometimes why this came to mind, sometimes I'll watch something. I watched Ferris Bueller's Day Off. It came on TV the other day. It's like one of my all-time favorite 80s, you know, comedies, and love Ferris Bueller. You know, I used to be Ferris Bueller back in the day in high school. Yeah, it's just like, you know, it's like you reminisce, you know, it's a bit of nostalgia. You start to think, man, I remember. You start to think, what was I doing at the time when this movie came on? Or I remember those days and this, that, and the other. And I just miss the 80s. I mean, the music, the shows, the movies, you know, the wrestlers. I don't even watch wrestling. I haven't watched wrestling in a long time, obviously.
I used to watch it too. Yeah.
I grew up on Hulk Hogan, Roddy Piper, Bret the Hitman Hart, you know, Randy Savage, you know, those guys, you know. Now it's like people I don't even know. It's just like, but ironically enough, I can still put Days of Our Lives on. It'll still be the same people. It's like, you know, I don't watch it. I mean, just, you know, accidentally if I put it on, because my aunt used to make me watch it, you know. Disclaimer here, when I was a kid, you know, babysitting me, and I kind of got into it for a minute, and then, you know, I stopped. And I'm glad you have edit. But anyways, yeah, so growing up, you know, so it's like, you know, Stefano DiMera and Bo and Hope and stuff, and they're going through some sort of dilemma. You know, like 20, 30 years later, they're still going through the same damn dilemma. You know, it's like nothing's changed. Like they just like right where I left off. You know, it's funny how subs work like that. I mean, they'll change it up a little bit here and there, and then they'll come full circle right back to where they started at. But, yeah. But anyways, back to wrestling. Yeah, I was a big time Hulkamaniac growing up. You know, saying my prayers, eating my vitamins, and, you know, when I got a little older, because I'm like 8, 9 years older than one of my sisters, and 11 years older than Kimberly, and I used to throw them around. You know, they were little rugrats, and I used to throw them around on the bed cushion. We used to, you know, reenact, you know, wrestling. I used to pretend to, you know, let them win, and they got me pinned down, and then I would like do the Hogan coming back, and oh no you don't. And I, you know, do a body slam on the, you know, and they get pissed off at me, and it was fun.
Did you watch his reality show?
Hogan Knows Best. Yeah.
Dude, I didn't realize he was such an asshole. Like, I really didn't realize that. Like, I didn't really watch too much of the show, but everything I watched of it, he was, like, being abusive to his daughter, basically. Like, she couldn't date. She couldn't go out. You know, anytime she went somewhere he didn't like, he'd grab a bunch of his wrestler friends and freaking be, like, you know, interrupting her date or threatening her boyfriend, or, like, he was a dick. I'm like, damn.
Well, you know, you hear this saying, Daddy's little girl. And when Daddy's little girl is the daughter of Hulk Hogan, you know, I guess
her life sucks. Yeah, for real.
Man, I mean, I can imagine trying to go on a date, and I open up the door, I got the flowers, and I'm nervous, and his, you know, Hulk Hogan answers the door, and his, you know, wife beater.
Hey, like, brother, you better not be mean to my daughter.
You know, oh my God, you know, sitting in the back of the limousine on a prom, you know, you got Hulk Hogan, you know, it's like, yeah, it must be rough. But, yeah, I've seen it. It was interesting. And it always seemed like he would favor his son and give his son a little bit more length, you know. He wouldn't hold the loose too tight on his son, but the daughter, he was way over the top overprotective.
He and his wife got divorced, didn't they? I think they did.
Yeah, the wife divorced. As a matter of fact, she ended up cheating on him, then divorcing him, and then taking him for most of his money. So, yeah. Yep. So, kind of reminds me of a Bill Burr skit, but I won't go into that. But it's just, Yeah, but that was interesting. Yeah, I used to watch that Hogan Knows Best, all the time. It was pretty cool. Sometimes he would have his old buddies come over and work out with him. The Big Show and, a few other, The Undertaker. Used to love The Undertaker. That was my boy. And a few other, But, now in my opinion, The Undertaker's intro is the best of all. And I love a lot of the other intros. I mean, it's, you can make arguments for others, but the intro, when The Undertaker comes out, the lights go down, the fire comes out, and you hear the dong, and he comes out, and
Kane had it too.
Kane,
his brother.
Because they were brothers. But Kane had it too. But it was very similar. But it was like a different type of song or sound. But it was similar. Because Kane was like, like, I can't do it. And The Undertaker was like,
right. I watched Ozzy's reality show too.
Yeah.
Ozzy Osbourne's one,
I remember that one.
That dude's like lost in his mind, like.
Well, I always thought, I know it's like this guy still performs,
Oh, I know he came out with another album.
How does he do Ozfest? But when he's sitting at home stoned and almost in a catatonic state, but then when he goes on stage, it's like there's a switch and boom, he performs. He does his thing.
Yeah, but he came out with an album recently. I have not heard this album, but I was like in shock. I'm like, wait, what? Ozzy made another album? What?
Really? Did you listen to any of the new songs?
No, I didn't. I didn't listen to any of it. I just was kind of in shock. Well, I didn't. I don't know what to expect.
What else can he do?
I know. I'm like, he can barely walk now. He kind of like hobbles out on stage, and I can't. They used to have a contest on the Riff, and this was a long time ago. They had a contest on the Riff, and it was can you figure out what Ozzy is saying, and they would play part of an interview or something, and people had to call in with their guess of what Ozzy is saying, because you can barely understand the dude anymore.
Right.
I'd been alone. I suffer from loneliness, so I just sitting and I got two little faces on my knees.
What? What's this?
Two little
shot of these? Those are little, those are two smiley...
And my son is just...
Why do you have smiley faces on your knees?
Well, when I'm pissing people off, they don't want to talk to me, so I can always pretend they're alive and talk to them, My son...
I don't follow this at all, I'm going to be honest with you. You don't... They're there because what? Because when people get mad at you, what happens?
What are these... What?
I'm Conan. Hi, how are you? Good to see you.
That whole concept sells itself. That's
Yeah.
funny in itself. Can you guess what Ozzy's saying? Subtitles and everything for that guy. Well, you know what? I always thought Sharon was cool. I thought she was kick-ass. She was just too cool for school. I liked Sharon Osbourne.
I liked Sharon until she got into it with ICP. Like, I thought the way that she treated ICP was bullshit. I really did.
Really? Refresh me, because it's foggy to me, that whole incident.
Well, okay, so it's hard to get... I would have to, like, play the interview, but basically, she was trying to do all kinds of horrible things to ICP and get them to lose their label, make them go away. She was managing bands, basically, is what she was doing.
Mm-hmm.
And because she got angry at them and then tried to destroy them over something so stupid and petty.
She went around and badmouthed us across the music industry, you know what I mean? Because she's like an industry giant, so I'm told. I think she's just a giant. You know what I'm saying? She might be a giant. Like a big fat bitch.
I was absolutely stunned that anybody would call me a bitch, because I'm really not a bitch, and I'm a great big cunt. And when they call me a bitch, it's very bad for my reputation because it's so weak. And I really have a reputation to uphold.
Sharon, what is going on? You called up yesterday. You were very pissed off.
Yes, because they use this term. They were on the radio yesterday on your show, and they called me a bitch.
Hey, you know Paul Chambers' manager Sharon Osbourne?
Yes.
She's like a big heavyweight in the music business. She's like
she's Ozzy Osbourne's wife.
very influential. You know what I mean?
And she doesn't like you?
And that bitch means nothing to me.
Really, you don't care?
I slap that bitch.
You don't even care?
Straight up. All the threatening remarks. She said, you guys are going to burn bridges by messing with me. What bridges do we take? What are they going to do? They're going to cut some of our... She's going to pull some strings and get us yanked off some radio stations? What stations?
You're not even on any station.
That's what I'm saying. Oh, she's going to get MTV to turn against us?
There's no threatening.
We don't have no MTV.
There's no threatening you guys.
There is none. We have no help anywhere.
Right.
Nowhere.
There's no
so what
strings.
Can she do?
There's no strings that you...
No strings she can do. There's no strings she can cut that would hurt Insane Clown Posse because we don't have any favors. No, everybody hates us already.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that story. Well, I mean, you know, it's funny though, when you think about somebody that you like or respected or you even looked up to at one point, and then, not that you ever looked up to Sharon Osbourne, but I'm just saying in general, how you grew up thinking a certain way about somebody that you loved, and you know they were just a shit, and then you find out other things about them, and it just breaks your heart and lets you down.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate that. I mean, like we were just talking about before. I mean, Hulk Hogan's a perfect example. You know, I mean, I grew up big time fan. You know, and then you find out about Bill Cosby and that whole thing.
God, yeah. What?
Taking women to his apartment and drugging them and doing. I mean, it's just like Bill Cosby. You know, he's supposed to be the clean, Jello pudding pop, the Huxtable family, and he's doing that. You know, whoever would have thunk it? You know, it's just like you just never know about people. You just never know.
You never know. Oh my gosh. There's like a video floating around YouTube, which is like a clip from the Cosby Show, and it's literally creepy as hell. It is so creepy. It like shows Bill Cosby, he's making some barbecue. And like the kids are eating the barbecue, and the wife comes up and she's like, everybody seems to really like your barbecue. And he's like, oh yeah. It's because of my sauce. And like, and she's like, oh yeah? And he's like, yeah, you like my sauce? I got some upstairs. You want some sauce? And like, the kids are eating it, and then the son, or one of the kids, somebody says, oh, I really love this sauce. And Bill Cosby walks over and he takes the chicken bone or whatever it is away from the kid. Like, it's really creepy when you watch it, but this was actually a scene on the Cosby Show.
It certainly is nice to see them work things out for themselves.
They haven't worked anything out for themselves. It's my barbecue sauce.
Your barbecue sauce.
My barbecue sauce. Haven't you ever noticed after people have some of my barbecue sauce, after a while when it kicks in, they get all huggy-buggy?
Stop.
I'm dead serious. Haven't you ever noticed that after one of my barbecues and they have the sauce, people want to get right home? Let me tell you something else. I got a cup of it up on the night table there. I got a cup of it, I said. Left it up there breathing. Why don't you give the chicken to these people? Let's go on up and have some sauce.
Really?
Yeah.
I have to Google or YouTube that.
I'll send it to you. I'll find it. I'll find it and send it to you, yeah.
It's my barbecue sauce.
I'm surprised my buddy Jerry is sending it to me, because he's always sending me like obscure, stuff like that. But anyways, that is creepy and weird.
Have some sauce.
It's bizarre. It's really bizarre. I'm putting Cosby barbecue sauce. There, it like popped up immediately.
It's my barbecue sauce.
Oh, I can't state it the way he put it, but it was funny. Eddie Murphy hosted SNL for the first time in like 20, 30 years or whatever. And he was talking about Bill Cosby. And he was like, he said something to the effect, if you would have told me 20, 30 years ago that Bill Cosby would have been locked up and I'm the one with the family and domesticated, even I would have took that bet. It was just like, because Eddie Murphy was raw back in the day and Bill Cosby was the clean, wholesome family one, so.
It's like so creepy. My barbecue sauce.
Yeah, you do that a little too well. Don't that is creepy. I know, right? It's just, what are you gonna do? Hey, so one of the things I want to ask you, Miss MeShellTiel, is how did you get into gaming exactly? Mortal Kombat and Soul Calibur, and of course I'm a big John Madden football fan. You know that. That. I'm not even going to go there right now. I'm not going to go there right now. It's all right. It's okay. Even though I would love to get the audience vote on that, but no, maybe for another time. Maybe if I'm
we can. No, okay. So I gotta explain. Right, I have to explain to the listeners what the heck we're talking about. Okay. So Mike thinks that I should play John Madden football and post it to my channel, right? But here's the thing, guys. I hate football. I don't play football. I don't like sports at all. So, and I don't even know how football is played. Like, I don't know anything about football.
I would teach you.
I know.
I'll be your Obi-Wan Kenobi. You'll be my Luke Skywalker. You be my sensei. Come on. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So, no. He thinks that if I play some John Madden football, that all of a sudden I'll gain a bunch of subscribers of people wanting to watch me crash and burn, basically, on football.
Now, see, that hurts, because you actually think that I would have you fall flat on your face? You think I would just, push you into the rip?
But you don't. But I don't like football, so it's like I'm not really. How do you play good at something if you really dislike it? Like how?
Well, you know what? I never used to like asparagus, and then I learned I grew to like it. It's just an acquired taste. Sometimes you just gotta give something a try, see if it works, and who knows? Maybe it might jump up on you and bite you, and next thing you know, you got the bug. You never know. Just you got to give it a try. But I would not just say, okay, you played for 10 minutes. All right, go ahead and off you go. Good luck with that. Here's one of the best gamers, John Madden of all time. Go ahead and do your. No, I would not do that. I'd walk you through it. Like Mickey and Rocky, I'd be your, I'd make sure every nuance and facet of the game,
Right.
I would babysit you, and here's the thing: even if you don't learn to like it, and this is what kind of frustrates me as a very good friend and family fan of yours, it's even if you don't like it, the demographic for that of John Madden football in itself is one of the biggest selling video games of all time.
Still?
Period, because
are you sure about that?
Well, I'll tell you what, if it's not, it's still like in the top 10, because because you have to understand football is still the number one market sports-wise for the four major sports.
Right,
Speaking of hockey, baseball, basketball, and football. It's a multi-billion-dollar corporation, and there's a reason for that. There's a reason why people try to skip out with their wives, to go to church on Sunday, so they can stay home and watch the game. There's fantasy football. There's gambling. Vegas. There's a reason for these things.
Right.
And so there's a big time demographic. And even if you didn't fell in love with it, because it's so big, and because the video game is so big, and because you're such a hot YouTube superstar and gamer, if you were to learn John Madden football and become good at it, it might increase and, because, you're already very, charming and witty and personable and charismatic, and not to mention, I hope you don't mind me saying, very cute and sexy. So if I were to see a cute and sexy gal, and I've told you this already, and I'm not used to seeing a gal playing football, and I see it, I'm like, oh, what is this? I'll check this out. And she's good. And she's kicking some guy's ass who's good. I might take some interest in that.
Well, guys, all right. I'm going to leave it to you. Write in the comments below if you think that I should play John Madden football or if I should skip out on it. Let us know in the comments below. And we'll let my demographic decide if it's a good idea.
All right. Hey, I tried. All right. If not that, definitely NHL hockey, but that's another story.
NHL hockey.
It's a little easier to learn. It has many rules and complications.
All right, Mikey Moo. We're coming up on an hour here. So,
already?
yes.
Wow.
I know. Oh, Bulldog.
I just want to say thank you very much for having me on your podcast, and I hope we do it again soon. And it was an honor and a pleasure to be with you. The hour flew by.
Yeah, it did. It did. This was a lot of fun. Thanks for joining me on this.
Thank you very much, and I'll see and talk to you soon.
All right. Bye.
All right. Bye.